no. Trust me. This is a global sport. My name's Jason Ferguson and I'm chairman of the World Professional Billiards and Snooker Association, and I'm the director of the World Snooker Tour, which people will be accustomed to seeing on television. I remember my PE teacher telling me that I was the worst sports person in the school. And I remember to this day people saying to me, Jason, what are you doing? This is an English sport, Jason. It will never work. My view was it always has to be globalised. But I'd gone into politics. Is it true you're the mayor of your town? Listen, Ferguson had been working in Asia. Get him back.
Seriously, you quit your mayor job?
You know, I guess you follow your passion, don't you? Politics is something you can go back to at any time. The learning curve of a political journey has been a great benefit to the sport.
Let's talk about statistics, okay? I got some of your achievement, Jason.
Wow.
4 millions, 7.1 millions, 120 millions, 27.6 millions? Wow, so you are the person behind the snooker tour, snooker championship, like all these competitions, right?
Well, I'm the custodian right now and have been for the last 16 years.
16 years?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah,
so
I'm very old, Jojo. This is.
Wow. Okay, so 16 years in this business, and then obviously you see the past and current, and then you will see the future for the snooker business as well, right?
Yes, I've seen in this sport sweeping changes from what it was to what it is today.
Yeah.
I guess it starts from childhood, and you know, I remember when I first fell in love with this sport.
How? Yeah.
I was just a small boy and saw it on television and tried playing it with my father, and we had a small table at home which was less than 2 meters, a very small table balanced on 2 chairs, and you know, this was my introduction to snooker. Of course, in the 1980s, snooker was booming on television.
In London, in the UK, or
all
global?
over the UK.
Yeah.
Now, bear with me here, because we only had 3 channels.
Forget
Not
about
like
that.
today with all these platforms, but back in the day, there were only 3 channels on televisions, and one of those channels was showing the snooker all the time, the BBC. So within that, you were accustomed to seeing these great players and stars, and they were aspirational. They were, you know, Kirk Stevens in a white suit, and Jimmy White, the young boy coming in, and Steve Davis, the great champion, 6 times world champion. You know, these were my heroes growing up. So that was where the inspiration came from initially, and I fell in love with this sport, and it's actually been my life.
Oh wow! Okay, so how did you involve in the snooker business then?
From playing originally.
Did you? So you were a player before, professional player?
Yes, for a period of time I played professional snooker and actually gave up playing professional snooker to run the administration. Because I turned professional in 1990.
1990.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. I know. But 1988, I was 19 years old. I'd become quite good at this game locally, from where I'd grown up in a very industrial town, and we had leagues. And
where is it?
I was born in a town called Mansfield in Nottinghamshire.
Mansfield. Oh,
it's very much a mining and an industrial town.
Yes.
Which is where all my family worked in this industry. But we had sports facilities because of that. And through that I became quite good, started winning a few things locally.
When you were 19? Wow.
Yeah, but when I was 19 I won the Pontins Open, which was probably considered the biggest amateur event in the world at the time.
Oh, right.
And went on to become runner-up in the World Junior Championships to Ken Doherty, who went on to become we became great friends for many years. He retired last week. It was very emotional for me.
Oh, I saw that news.
Yeah, we were great friends many years since we were just boys, you know. And so from there I turned professional in 1990 and enjoyed a good career for 10 years. I played for 14 years, but for 10 years seriously, with the highest ranking of 28 in the world. So I played at the Crucible Theatre 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But actually the sport was, whilst it had had its boom in the 1980s, the sport had gone into decline. It was shrinking, clubs were closing, it was mainly sponsored by a tobacco industry where advertising was being restricted. So the sport was hurting and it was shrinking, and that's why I got involved in the administration, to try and change it forever.
Oh, wow. I guess the focus is different, make the sports shrinking. I mean, who knows the reason? But as a professional player, So you may have the drive, I want to do something that's a change in this sport, right?
Yeah, I think the passion exists. The passion is in there.
Of course.
I think the great thing is being able to see, you know, what we have today is what I dreamed it would be like as a boy playing snooker. You know, arriving on the big stage and the big events that we now run and the global television, and you know, it wasn't like that when I turned professional. You went into a hall, you played in qualifying rounds. If you were lucky, you qualified for 1 or 2 events. It was a lot different back then. What we have today is really inspirational for the young players coming through all over the world, and I'm very proud of the sport actually now when I look at it now. But
Absolutely.
I do think there's another level for us.
No, I mean, same. You were 19, you won the champion, you know, for your local tournaments, and now like talk about like the currently championship. So who wins like a Chinese player, Wei Ze? He's only 22, but similar age as you were, like slightly 3 years.
Yes, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, to see how advanced these players are now at that young age. You know, back then, if you were in your 20s and you became a professional snooker player, everybody expected you to, you know, learn the ropes and work hard for a few years and not just go on and win major titles. Today, it's different. Players arrive and they can win events the same year, the following year. Everybody has the same opportunity in the sport today, and I think that's one of the key drivers in the business model.
Yeah, that's very inspirational. Like everybody is having a hope, right? As long as they have the talent and they try. Yeah. When you mentioned about the sports back to 1980s, so the snooker haven't get enough world attention. So what did you do to make it so booming like today?
Well, of course, it always had appeal. We had great sporting moments. People say, Jason, what do you do for work? And it's hard to describe. We create great sporting moments, Jojo. That's what we do, and they last forever. But you know, there were great sporting moments. Dennis Taylor, Steve Davis final. 18.5 million people in the UK watched this in 1985. So we had something that was quite addictive to watch.
Yeah.
The point was, it was very English, and the attitude of its operation was very English. You know, there wasn't a lot of thinking outside of that. Now, and that's not a criticism of my predecessors. It's actually where the sport was back then. My view was, it always has to be globalized. We have to go to global markets. We have to open up to global brands. To do that, we need global markets. So, you know, my drive since day one of being an administrator has been to globalize this sport, and it's still my drive today. And it's booming in many countries around the world.
What was the most challenge part when you try to push the snooker business uprising to global?
Wow, there have been many challenges along the way. I think early days, if I could speak about, you know, my sort of push, my early days as an administrator, I ran the WPBSA for nearly 4 years as a volunteer whilst I was still playing.
Oh, wow.
And really this ended my playing career because I became a little bit busier, and I'd started international relations. I started a department called international relations.
Why you start straight away to global
We
relationship?
were working with Thailand was a popular spot, and we had a wonderful man called Sintu Pulsaravong who sadly passed away last year, but he was a driver of snooker in Asia, and actually was one of the people in Asia that helped Ding Junhui in the early days.
From Thailand?
Yeah, because we established our first academy in Thailand, which brought the Chinese players in. Okay. So, you know, from there, that little department of international relations, we'd started a little bit of relationship with China, Singapore, and Malaysia, and players, referees. And it starts very small. There are little seeds that you plant sometimes, and sometimes you go back and they become the huge trees like China. It's just grown and boomed.
I know.
And it's great to see. So that time was really challenging for me because snooker was an English sport. And I remember to this day people saying to me, Jason, what are you doing? This is an English sport, Jason. It will never work.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You know, and I said, no, trust me. This is a global sport. And this was a big fight for me to try and push people along to say that we can do this. And I failed at my first time. I ended up resigning as chairman of WPBSA and World Snooker. I'd set up the commercial operation. This is a long time ago, 2004. 2004. And I'd left because really it wasn't changing, and there wasn't the will to change it. And there was a lot of political infighting within groups who had different ideas. So I walked away from it for a short time, and I went away and got on with some of my own things and started to have a life outside of this 7-day week work that you do. But the phone rang one day, and I'd gone into, it was a strange thing because I'd actually gone away from snooker completely, but I'd gone into politics. I'd entered the local politics. I became the mayor of my town.
Wow.
And I was doing the regeneration of the coal fields where
back to Northern.
I'd gone back to
Northern.
my roots, and I was building industrial units and helping our town council change from being a mining town into a new modern clean environmental town, which we were very successful at, by the way.
Wow.
We won an award
Amazing.
for most enterprising zone in Britain.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time, a very small town called Ollerton and Booton. So
what was that called?
it was called Ollerton and Booton. It was a very small part of Nottinghamshire.
Okay.
Right on the edge of Sherwood Forest. You will know Robin Hood country, of course. So I was involved in this, and I was doing that, and perhaps thought that was the path. The next path for me was to join the campaign to become Member of Parliament. That was
Go for it.
That was the road I was taking.
Yeah, go, politics.
But then the phone rang. I was the mayor of my town this year, and the phone rang, and it was Barry Hearn. It was Barry. Jason, he said, "Is it true you're the mayor of your town?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Listen," he said, "we need to talk." He said, "Snooker's in trouble. He said, "It's declined again. It's getting worse." He'd been asked to come in and take over. And as he'd come in, he said, "Look, I'll come in, but we're going to need to put a team together. Does anybody know who's going to be on the team?"
You.
And apparently 2 or 3 people have said, "Listen, Ferguson's we'd been working in Asia, get him back." So they asked me to join the board of WPBSA.
Yeah.
And I joined and took over as chairman again in 2010.
Seriously, you quit your mayor job?
I walked away. I stood down as mayor.
Was that an easy decision?
Year. Well, I guess you follow your passion, don't you? You follow your passion. Politics is something you can go back to at any time. But I have to say, the learning curve of a political journey has been a great benefit to the sport and to my work within the sport, because it's helped me forge relationships. It's helped me understand the concept of funding towns and cities and what generates revenues and what doesn't. And this is our business model in putting major events on with host cities. So it's given me a great background in the economics and public funding of projects. So I think it was a big change for me to step away from that, but actually it was a new opportunity to go back and perhaps do something that I hadn't quite finished properly.
So follow your dream, and then follow your passion. I mean, you could go to parliaments, but that's something you are capable, good at, but not from your heart to be another mayor of London, for instance, right?
Look, I love politics. I'm really interested in politics, and geopolitics is something I follow because it affects our business.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's very important.
But you also learn to running the global events via your politics experience.
Yes, it's been a great starting position to understand politically how a place works.
Yeah.
That's why I love China so much.
Love it.
I love the political scene in China. I think it's very strong.
You're open-minded.
Yeah, open-minded, and we see so many different political ways of working. We can look at Westminster and the arguments that go on in the Houses of Parliament and the debates that go on, and we can look at the Chinese model, and we can look at the US model, and you can go to the Middle East and look at their models, and all these models are different, but there's one common theme in there. Everybody wants to improve their country. Everybody wants their people to be better off. Everybody wants their people to have a smile on their face, and that's where sport comes in. That sport drives economics, and that's the model that we work with.
That's the model. So back to my questions, your challenges. The first challenge for you is basically you give up or walk away, give up your seats, right?
Yeah.
And then coming back with passion.
Yes.
And what's another challenge back to the old time to push the snooker globally?
I think I mean, in personal challenges, it is a challenge. Life is a challenge, isn't it? I think looking at life, and you go through these phases of working too much and traveling too much, and I think one of the biggest challenges is trying to maintain a life and do this kind of job. I've been in this role for 16 years.
Yes.
I don't ever remember taking a day off.
No.
You know, you never stop. You will never wake up in the morning without the 50 WhatsApps and the 100 emails and and there are so many platforms now. You're going through them all, checking what's there. So I think the biggest challenge is really it's the management of everything, managing your life, managing your work, managing family. I'm married with a young son, and I have other children, and it's life
balance,
work
right?
Balance is a huge challenge, I think, for everybody in the world these days.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So when was your first time traveling to China for snooker?
Well, it's a great story. I'll never forget it. And actually, I'd forged relations with China sort of many years before this, but 2010 was the first time I'd actually stepped off of the plane in mainland China and worked there. 2010, I went to Shanghai. I travelled with Barry Hearn. We decided we were going to do this new restructure. So we restructured the companies, set up what we have today. First trip was, Jason, you need to go back to Asia. Let's go back to all those old relationships and start building again. We need to start growing. So we went to China. We left Heathrow Airport, Barry Hearn and I, on a BA flight. 3.5 hours into the flight, we lost an engine. And so Barry's quite a character. And so there he was in his chair, and people rushing around on the aeroplane. And he pressed the button, and the seat came. And he smiled on his face. He said, Jason, let's have a bottle of champagne. He said, so we did. So we had a bottle of champagne. We put the world to rights. We landed back at Heathrow Airport, got a new plane, went to Shanghai, missed 2 meetings. So it started a little bit behind.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was an experience. We spent 3 weeks really just establishing relationships, meetings, trying to work out how we were going to develop properly in China, because we had, of course, the China Open, a partnership with the CBSA and our partner Shanghai. But the events were small and partly funded, and to build a real market, that's a different game. So back then, 2010, 2011, 2012, these were years where I started to travel to China 2-3 weeks at a time. I was living in Beijing, in Guomao district, just staying in a little hotel there, going out to meetings every day. But I'd started to work. We had a commercial director, Miles Pierce, who I worked with, and he and I, along with our main office team there, we were travelling out to different cities, and we were really trying to spread the good word of this sport. We were doing the hard miles. We were sleeping on trains, in backs of cars, travelling from presentation to presentation, and we covered so much of China, doing this over a sort of 5, 6, 7 year period. And really that's where the work was done to build the market. We have to thank our partners there. The China Billiards and Snooker Association, under the Sports Authority of China, are one of the greatest partners we could ever wish for. We see things the same, we work together, we hand in hand build this sport for the benefit of everybody, and I think it's a great model.
That's amazing, back to 2010, and so you're building up hard works, have a great local partners as well.
Yes, yeah. Localization in this industry is very important. Wherever you go in the world, you can't run all this from a small island called England. You have to build. We're not bad at that here in the UK. We're quite good at spreading out and establishing things, as China is. But you have to have local people. You have to have local culture. The way people digest media is different. The way people read and the content that they enjoy is different. The food is different. The culture, everything is different, the language. So you have to build local teams. And our China team has been very small for many years, but very effective because we have some very effective partners that we work with. The one thing that becomes clear to us, we want to give the sport to as many people as possible. It's a gift. Sport is a gift. And we want people to enjoy it, experience it. And what comes out of that is the development of elite talent. And it's very rewarding when you can look at your Chinese partners and they can look at us and say, look at that, we've got a world champion. You know, Zhao Xintong lifting the title, first Asian to win the World Snooker Championship, and followed up very quickly by Wu Yize, is an amazing achievement, which started from very little.
That's really rewarding. Yeah. So what would you say that, you just mentioned that the sports is a given, but what's your definition for sports?
I think it's a very interesting question. I like the question.
Because you're the first person I heard sports is a given.
Yeah, sport is a gift. It's for everybody.
It's a gift.
We have to ensure the principle of what we do is for every person in the world. This is the starting point for a sport. But actually, what business are we in? We are in the sports business, but we're actually in the entertainment business. If people don't watch it, and don't enjoy it, or don't participate in it, it will never work. And I've seen many sports that come and go, or some sports doing well, some not so well. It's about the entertainment value and how you create that and how you can build the story to do that. But actually, the third business that we're in is diplomacy. We're in the diplomacy business because sport has a unique way of building bridges to anywhere in the world. I've been all over the world with this sport, and I've been to the most oddest places in the world where you would think, no way they play snooker there, but trust me, they do. And you will find sports all over the world. Somebody will have seen it on the internet or on a mobile phone these days or anything, and you will find that it's growing. The diplomatic side of that is really powerful. And I think UK and China is a great example. I was honoured this year to be asked by the Prime Minister to accompany him to China on his trade mission. And I've been to the Great Hall of the People to do press conferences, believe it or not. But I've never been there on a diplomatic mission on the invitation of the Premier of China. And I think, you know, I saw a different side to what we were doing. And the power and the scale of that's built a real bridge. We come back to the economics of it again. If you look at the economic model of the World Snooker Championship takes place, millions of people from all over the world watch it. Hundreds of millions, actually.
My gosh, I know that. Like, I've done some research. You just mentioned about sports.
Yes.
It has to be a sports plus entertainment part.
Yes.
That's adding a little bit commercial value.
Yeah.
Let's talk about statistics, okay? I got some of your achievement, Jason.
Wow. Must be a very short list.
I know. Oh, wow. Okay. So the latest one, Holo World Championship UK TV view figures, 4 million during the final, 120 million view hours at BBC and TNT Sports, and 27.6 million BBC iPlayer live stream, 7.1 million through the BBC website and apps.
But the interesting statistic out of that is the 4 million plus on the BBC for the World Snooker Championship. Now, remember what I said earlier, 18.5 million people watched the 1985 World Snooker Championship final just in the UK. Okay, only 3 channels, now there are millions of channels and streaming platforms. So the audience is diluted. But when you start to add up the figures of people that are watching it now, it's in the 400 to 500 million people watching it. And that's the difference between a global business and a business that's very, say, parochial in where it's based. So the global business that we have now is now entering global markets. We're speaking with global brands, global broadcasters. It's a different model and it's a different opportunity. And I think we can go even further. Wherever we go in the world, people are like-minded because we're in the same industry, we're interested in the same things, we have a common subject to begin with. This is an icebreaker wherever you are in the world. And then if we can find a way that everybody can benefit from that.
Yeah.
And that might be the city benefiting from tourists, it might be the hotels benefiting, it may be the airline benefiting from transporting people, or you know, if we can find the business model within that, that's where the business starts to work really well. But it all starts from that one little thing.
And talk about like the city, like the benefits. Sheffield, it's become it's a small northern part of England town, a city, but now I guess most of the people heard about that, and then I know a lot of the Chinese, they come to the UK, they have to go to Sheffield. Can you tell us about the story about that little town, little city, and what was it like, and why Sheffield, and then why still Sheffield in the future?
It's amazing, isn't it? Sheffield is now the centre of snooker globally. And, you know, one time a day, you know, Sheffield was very similar to where I grew up. It was a industrial city. In China terms, it's a very small town, but actually in the UK terms, it's one of our major cities. Now, Sheffield was based upon the steel industry. So stainless steel, knives and forks, cutlery.
From miner to steel.
Unbelievable. The Sheffield steel industry was incredible worldwide. And so it really began that way. And I remember going to Sheffield as a young boy, and it was very dusty and dark, and you know, there was a lot of...
Which you used to.
Yeah, I was used to that growing up, you know, in the mining towns, but it was very run down and for a period. Today you're seeing buildings go up, modern apartments, new businesses, and you know, food from all over the world, and restaurants from everything we can. I mean, Sheffield is just brilliant now. It's just a brilliant, vibrant city, and I'm very proud to think that we're part of that.
Contribute.
Yeah, we made a contribution, and you know, even our business partners are. You know, we have people who have houses in the city we work with. We have many players living in the city. We have, you know, sponsors and partners and supporters, and it's really good because the economic model is that people are coming in from all over the world. I know you're from Beijing. If you walk down the street in Beijing and say, name me 3 cities in the UK, they'll probably go London,
Birmingham,
or Sheffield, and Manchester United. People think that's a city. It's a football team.
Football club.
So you know, but it is one of those cities now which is internationally recognised because of its global footprint with snooker. So amongst other things in the past, of course. So it's really nice to see that development, and it's nice to see that development working now. Regeneration is coming of the Crucible Theatre. It's going to be made bigger. There's going to be more hospitality. There's going to be more opportunities to get fans in, to build new fan zones, and seeing that vibrance around the city when the snooker's on, it's great. It's different when you go back when it's not there.
So what was the story? Like, is the first tournament was there, and then also in the future?
Yeah, it was by chance really.
By chance only?
Yeah, because you know, snooker was managed by a group of sort of players and former players, as it was back in the day. And actually the WPBSA was formed as a private club.
Oh wow!
It was a private club.
It's not a government's body at all.
No, originally it wasn't. No. Originally it was a private club, and it was a group of players that wanted to look after players, and players used to do exhibitions and entertain people in clubs, and there were no events. But actually the world, you know, a few events started to grow. The World Championship. A man called Mike Watterson, who lived in Chesterfield, just very close to Sheffield, his wife went to the theatre one night and called her husband immediately, and she said, I'm in a theatre tonight, it's perfect for snooker. And he went over there, Mike Watterson, and he went, wow, this is great. We'll start the World Championship here. So, you know, well over 40 years now, the World Snooker Championship at the Crucible Theatre. And actually the space hasn't changed that much. If you see the old photographs, it will change now.
It will change because they new investment, right?
But it does have a unique feeling. It's silent. You can hear a pin drop in there. It's a very well laid out theatre. It's very steep seating rake, so everybody's looking over the action. You're very close to it. It's very intimate, and that's why it's also a great theatre, a very well respected theatre. But for us, it needs to be bigger. We're now a
Now
global
it's
market.
a global,
We
yeah.
need to get more people in.
Yeah.
We're under a lot of pressure.
So yeah, it's become a really, really well-known for Chinese audience. Everybody wants to pay a visit, yeah. So just want to give you behind the scene for the Jojo's Cross Border. So we are trying to reach out the former mayor of the Sheffield, and also I want to reach out some other Chinese community there. We're also trying to put a volunteer work supporting the Chinese players, training players and families. For example, like their food and accommodation, their nutrition, and the mental health,
good.
and also the government support as well. So we're all working hard to support different players and then bring this snooker bigger.
Well, sure. I mean,
for China.
listen, we'd be happy to make those connections for you. But
Thank
I mean,
you.
Sheffield is great. It's a great city now. It's modern now. It's not not industrial like it was.
And lovely people.
Lots
there,
of
wonderful.
education. The
Yeah.
people are great. But you know, now we have a big Chinese community there.
They're big. Yeah.
Now we have great food and karaoke. I love it.
The players, they're from, when you think about the Chinese players, they really quit their education in China, move their family to the UK. It's a huge cost for the family.
It is.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing I can do from this day forward about the future, it's change the model. Because I have a dream. I left education, I was at 15. I'm lucky, I went on, I educated myself in life and studied and read books on company law and other things. I had to work really hard after playing snooker. But actually, there's no reason why people have to come out of education to play snooker. We need the systems in place where we have schools, we have universities, where we can have snooker training alongside degrees, where we can do business and sport, we can do, you know, anything, any study alongside this sport. But this sport could be the chosen sport for many universities and schools. This is something we're working on, an educational program where even if you go all the way through our system, you may turn left and end up on the World Snooker Tour and have a great time. But if you don't make it there, you can turn right and go into industry and lead companies. And you know, there is a future in this educational model. And I think something that China gets right is the education models. I've learned a lot from China.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
The opportunities should be in the school. You know, I was at a school, my secondary school. I remember my games PE teacher telling me that I was the worst sports person in the school. And I was. I didn't like football, I didn't play hockey, didn't do the rugby. I just mainstream school sports. I didn't like them. And I was the
You were the worst one.
sports person in the school. I was last at cross country.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was the only person came out of that school and became a professional sports person.
I see.
Now, in there is a message somewhere in that all children should have access to all sports. So snooker is very difficult to give access to school children because of facilities. This is something China are very good at. The facilities are in the schools. There are so many schools with tables, academies of their own. It's really good to see. So there's more choice. And the fact that snooker was my sport and that didn't fit with the mainstream education, you know, you go off in a slightly different direction. My job now is to try and bring that back in and try and ensure that we can keep people in education, keep them playing, practicing, find the facilities. And then if they want to go on further in elite level, then we need to find the university placements that have the sports facilities where you can continue to play snooker and study and do those degrees. And one day you might make it, but you might make it for 2 years. You might make it for 36 years, like my good friend Ken Doherty this week. Or you may do 10 years, like me. But what are you going to do after that? If you started on that right path and you've enjoyed 10 years in sport, you're in a very unique position at the end of it, because sports people are very sharp, generally. They have an ability to apply themselves. They have an ability to work out problems, especially in our sport. We can strategize. We're good at arithmetic because we count all day.
Absolutely. Play steps
Yeah.
away.
And the sport has so many advantages for that in education as well. Whether it be physics at the table, whether it be arithmetic. We look at snooker tables and go, well, there's 3 reds on the table, that's 3 ones. If I pot a black with each red, that's 3 sevens, we'll add that together. And then I'll add the yellow and the green, brown, blue. Pink is 6, black is 7. The answer's 51, by the way.
My gosh, okay. I'm not a typical Chinese, have a great math.
Yeah, well look, but the ability to improve young children's education by playing snooker is enormous. And we need the schools to embrace that. And to embrace that, we need government attitudes to change, to accept the sport. And I'm pleased to see this year, government attitude here is changing towards snooker. We are seeing help towards stopping our clubs closing. We are seeing help towards the Crucible Theatre being regenerated. Finally, this sport is being respected as a great British sport that's been exported over the world. We now need to change the education structure.
Yeah, how far is it now?
Some are interested. We have a number of conversations ongoing with different universities
Mainly
and different
UK
schools.
universities.
Mainly UK at this stage, but we're already seeing overseas interest, of course, with the size and scale of the sport. If we look at the American model, the scholarships to American universities for sport, that's the kind of model I want to see for our sport eventually. And maybe we need to crack the US market to do it.
Oh, I'm sure you can after cracking China model.
I think we can.
Yeah. My last question, Jason, is going to be a little cruel questions. So why snooker is not in the Olympic Games?
Yeah, it is a tough question. It's a tough one to take, to be honest, because snooker is a huge sport, and it's one of the, maybe the biggest sport that's not in the Olympics. I don't know, but it's certainly up there. The Olympics, again, is traditional. There are traditional set number of sports that are in the Olympic Games, whether that be athletics and swimming and all these sports. And for new sports to get in, it's a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge. And it can be quite political. So you find that within the IOC structure, there is a recognition for snooker within all cue sports. So we have pool, carom, 9-ball, 8-ball, 13 1-ball. This is a complicated organisation.
Yeah.
This is like having tennis, table tennis, badminton, paddle, all in the same federation wanting to win the same medal. So the complications here need to be resolved, because for me, snooker is the biggest international sport for broadcast. Pool is also Chinese billiards, becoming very big. There are 1 or 2 sports that can make the Olympic Games, and we need to streamline the efforts. We need to join our forces, and we need to go forward. 2032, you heard it here first. This is our target. Brisbane. 2032 Brisbane, we can do this. We have snooker on the ground in this country, very successful. We have great champion, Neil Robertson, Australian. We have a global sport, big key markets in the world, which are interested in snooker now. We have everything going for us. So this is the bid. We're on it.
Okay, and is there anything like ordinary people can help with to make that happen?
Yes.
How?
It's all about the messaging, social media, everything. We must keep banging the drum. I've spent a lifetime knocking doors down that are locked, right? I spent a lifetime banging on doors saying, come on, we're snooker, we're here. We need the people to do this. We need our fans to support us.
Yeah, so let's go,
snooker,
fans.
IOC, we're there. We're ready, we'll deliver.
IOC 2032 is our slogan, right?
Yes, and don't forget the Paralympic Games. Next week my team are flying to Thailand for the World Disability Snooker Championship.
Oh, Paralympic
10 years.
Games.
We spent 10 years building a full para sport for snooker. It's now fully operational worldwide. We're ready for the Paralympics as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, not just only Olympic Games, Paralympic Games as well. So go snooker, go to Olympic Games 2032. It's our new slogan from Jojo's Cross Borders. Thank you, Jason.
Pleasure, my pleasure. Thank you.
You know it's ours. Say it loud, no doubt.